Hey, what's going on, everybody? Manny here once again. Welcome to DFS Zone. I have a new video for you, but before I get started, like always, I appreciate you guys drop a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, it's your first time here, have not seen any of my videos before, the only thing you need to do to be a part of the community and get access to the videos on a consistent basis is to become a subscriber. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe down below before you go, and make sure that you also put on your post notifications. This way you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. With that being said, today is Monday. It is March the 25th, 2019, and we only have a 4-game slate today, ladies and gentlemen. 4-game slate in the association. Before I get going, MLB starts Thursday, opening day. Very much excited for the season. I'll be covering MLB here throughout the MLB season, so make sure that you follow along with me here at DFS Zone. Also, WNBA will be covered as well. I covered WNBA in its entirety, the whole entire season with playoffs last year, which was a lot of fun. Made a lot of new friends here on DFS with WNBA, so I look forward to covering that as well. So very, very busy time. Make sure that you are subscribed down below, and make sure that you also don't forget to put on that bell icon so you don't miss out on any of those videos when I upload. The videos starting as of today for NBA are going to be cut down in time. I know that's going to be great for some of you guys because you find that the videos are a little longer, but I always like to give options and all that, and so that's one of the reasons why my videos are a little longer. Give you guys a little bit more information, give you some insights, give you some tips, and take it from there. But the videos will be a little bit shorter starting today. Hopefully, as of tomorrow, there'll be only one player per position, but that does not mean that I will not be putting the players on the watch players list. So if you are utilizing the draft dashboard and you signed on under my link in the description of the videos over the last few weeks, you're going to still have access to that. Even if I don't even do a video, like I didn't do a video yesterday, I did have my watch players list. I will always have watch players list, so do not be concerned if I don't do a video, you don't see a video posted for anything from this point on in. You're going to still get that information on draft dashboard. All right. Okay. As you can see, so let's get right to it, man. So injury news before we start utilizing the draft dashboard. Injury news, not a whole lot to report. Josh Jackson is right now a game time decision. Obviously, if he is out, Bridges, Bender, guys like Holmes have been getting the bulk of the minutes. Those are the guys you will be targeting. I would think more so Holmes. Joakim Noah, game time decision, but the last I heard prior to starting the video is that he's more than likely doubtful. So chances are he's not going to play. And those are the only two that were really of any significance for today. Other than that, the regular individuals that have been out are still out. So let's get right to it. All right, as you can see, my weapon of choice is draft dashboard right here on the screen. We're going to go over defenses. You got DVPs. You got the player's name. You got the price for both Fanduel and DraftKings all on one screen. Implied totals all the way to fantasy points per game, the minutes, the usage over the course of the last 3 games, as well as what they've done with the opposition in the last 3, as well as you can hover over this link here, and you're going to see that you're going to get also the last 5 games they have played, as well as the last 5 games versus the opponent. Projected points, value, the ownership projections for today's slate. At least that will change throughout the course of the day, of course. And then you got the points per minute, which these are all new features here added to the tool, to the software. The hit percentage, 47% of the time, for example, Russell Westbrook hits $12,000, the value for $12,000. So again, very, very, very powerful tools here on Draft Dashboard. And of course, you got a number of other features here as well. Top players for today, the NBA cheat sheet link, the sleepers and studs players trend, and the lineup optimizer, where you can optimize your lineups of all the players that you are targeting for that day. Right now, there's only 7 on my watch players list. Again, folks, like I just said at the very beginning, there will be more players added to this players list. It's just to get the video done a little quicker. I'm just going to target a few players to discuss today. So watch players list. Those players there, when you have 25, 30, whatever it may be, according to what the size of the slate is, it can vary from 20 players to as much as 30 players. Whatever the case may be, you could take those players and you can throw them in the lineup optimizer and optimize one lineup, multiple lineups, whatever you want to do. You could switch players for value, so on and so forth. A lot of great features within the software. On top of that, you have 4 sports that you can actually have access to throughout the course of the year, utilizing the software, from NFL to NBA, which we're covering right now. The NHL is being covered right now if you have been playing NHL, and MLB is starting in 3 days. So again, all of this in one place. I can offer it to you, new subscribers as well as viewers, 30 days for $1 using the link in the description of this video down below. So make sure you sign up, and you will also get the benefits of having my watch players list. my players that I'm watching. Right now, like I said, there's only 7. There will be more here after the video, all right? Let's get right to it. So we're at the top. You got Russell Westbrook and Damian Lillard. As you can see already, I'm not going to discuss a whole lot about Lillard. We know C.J. McCollum is out. We know he's going to get a ton of usage, ton of shots. This is an important game for Portland. They are at home, and they're going up against a team that is right now just battling and grinding in the Brooklyn Nets, who are trying to stay in the playoff hunt here. They're the 6th seed right now. I think they want to really do everything they can to stay in the 6th slot. So this is going to be a competitive game in Portland. You got to consider Damian Lillard, plain and simple. He is $10,600 on FanDuel and $700 cheaper on DK. I think you could play him. I think for FanDuel, if you're paying up, he is the best option at point guard at that price tag, at least in my opinion, as opposed to paying for $9,900 and knowing for Ben Simmons $9,900 and knowing that he's $1,500 cheaper on DK. All right, so Damian Lillard in play. My next guy that I do believe is a great play is Ricky Rubio. My only concerns is that Utah has been clamping up on their defense. They've been really playing tough basketball on the opposition. The weaker teams, they definitely have been really giving it to them. And my only concern is that Ricky won't be there long enough to get to value. That's my concern with the Utah players today. Like I had mentioned at the beginning of the video, you gotta, target those players that are in many meaningful games. So again, Ricky Rubio for me is in play. I do like his price tag on FanDuel. I do think that he can meet that 32-33 that you need on FanDuel. Obviously, his DK price is way much better. $1,100 cheaper for him on DK. You only need 50. That's $5,400. You only need 26 or 27, and he's averaging 28. And as you can see, he's 31 or better in 2 out of his last 3 games. The minutes are still varying up and down simply because they've been in blowout situations. That's the only concern going into this matchup. And Vegas has it already that they are favored by 15. So that is pretty scary as it is. But again, you can't, Phoenix has been in positions thus far as of late where they've been in games that they've been targeted as the underdog and by a huge spread, and they have actually competed. I think once or twice they have won in upsets. So anything can happen, but they are playing in Utah. Again, I do like Ricky Rubio. You can go there if you wanted to. Phoenix is 20th in defending point guards, and they've been allowing 40.7 fantasy points per game, which is huge. They gave up 30 to Fox, 29 to Dunn, and 54 to Payton. I'm okay with him. I'm okay with Mike Conley, especially on DK. Mike Conley is in play in a game against OKC. We know Russell is not the greatest defender. I think he's a better defender than Russell Westbrook, so this is why I would rather pay the 9.2 for him on FanDuel. But his price is lovely for DK. I don't think right now I will even consider him on FanDuel just yet. Anything can change as far as my decisions are concerned throughout the course of the day. So again, this is very early, but at the moment, Connolly will be someone that you can target, especially on DK. For $7,500, you only need 36, and he's averaging 38, and he put up 34 in his last game. Has 50-point upside, as you can see. He put up a 52 here. Usage rate is through the roof. He is the main offensive weapon for the Memphis Grizzlies, so you got to consider him. 35% of the time, he's hit value of 9,200, but look at him on the DK price of 7,500. 59% of the time, he has hit value at 7,500. So Connolly on DK is definitely a good play. And if you wanted to stay in the competitive games, I will have exposure possibly to DJ Augustin or Spencer Dinwiddie, but I will probably go Spencer Dinwiddie because he has the better upside. And and Brooklyn is as much as Orlando needs DJ to play well, the Nets need Spencer to play well as well. And I think that his price tag at 5,600 and knowing that his DK price is at 5,400, I would rather go with Dinwiddie with the upside, even though on the road that he takes a little bit more. He takes more shots than Augustin, and he has 50-point upside, whereas Augustin could get you that 30 to 35 range, could get you maybe a high 30s, but he's not a 50. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and get you 50 on a given night. But Spencer Dinwiddie can, so I would more than likely go Spencer Dinwiddie. Then you got guys like Seth Curry here. Because of C.J. McCollum, he could be a nice low-value play at $4,100, $300 cheaper on DK. So $3,800, I have no problem with Seth Curry. He's playing more than enough minutes, as you can see, 25 or better in 3 straight games. Had 31 minutes in the last game, and he's been putting up nearly 24 to as much as 32 fantasy points over the course of the last few games. So again, Seth Curry is definitely in play as well. Let's go to shooting guard. At shooting guard at the top, I'm going to stick with the Brooklyn guys. D'Angelo Russell is in play for me. Granted, Booker, knowing that he's got to put up a ton of points, he's going to probably see some Donovan Mitchell. I will not go there. But again, D'Angelo Russell going up against Portland with no C.J. McCollum. Damian Lillard is not the greatest defender. This guy's taking tons and tons of shots. He has taken, I think, 25 shots a game over the course of the last 4 or 5 games. And on top of that, about 11 or 12 threes on average. He's just shooting the ball a ton, and he's going to carry this team as much as he can offensively. So at 9,100, I have no problem with D'Angelo Russell. Well, you need 45 to meet value. On DK, he's 8,600. You need 43. If you have to play him there, play him there. I think that he's someone you got to consider. His ownership projection is not too bad at 13% at the moment. So D. Russell, a little bit of a tougher matchup. But nonetheless, as far as 12th defense and 13th against point guards, but he has been able to put up as high as 74 over the last 3. He's been in the 40, 46 or better in 3 straight. The minutes are there. The usage is through the roof, over 33% or better over the course of the last 3. Now, granted, he only put up a 30 spot against Portland the last time, but nonetheless, he's just, for the amount of usage, the amount of shots he's going to take, the importance of Brooklyn's game today. They're the 6th seed, only 1 game ahead of everybody else. They could very easily slip all the way to 9th or 8th with a loss here today. So, again, these are, it won't go all the way to 8th, but they'll slip in the standings. They cannot afford to lose any games. They need to win. Every game for them is a playoff game. So D'Angelo Russell and the Brooklyn Nets guys are definitely guys that I'm going to definitely want to target today, and I will recommend as well. You come down here, there's a couple of options here at shooting guard. Other than D'Angelo Russell, you can come down and pay down. I'm not high on Fournier or Ross, but again, these guys are battling for playoffs, so you're going to have to consider Evan Fournier or Terrence Ross, either one of the two. And Dennis Schroeder here against Memphis, he's been really doing well against Memphis. I will definitely have some exposure to Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench, giving some energy to this OKC team. He's averaging 37.4 fantasy points per game versus Memphis over the course of 2 games this year. All right, and they have no Avery Bradley who's going to come in there and defend. And this is a guy that's still taking 15, 16 shots a game and taking about 5 or 6 threes. He's getting more than enough opportunity to put up points. As long as he buries his shots 40% or better, he would definitely meet value and then some. He should exceed value. He put up a 45 spot in his last game. He's averaging 27. He's been at 28 or better in 3 straight. And as you can see, the minutes are trending upward, 31 minutes to as high as 38 over the course of the last 3. And as well, his usage rate is up. And as you can see, he also put up a 46 spot in his last game against Memphis. And like I said, in 2 games against them, he's averaging 37. That's more than enough to exceed and crush value here at this price tag of $5,800. He's $500 cheaper on DK, so you can get him for about $5,300 on there. And I think that he's okay in either or. As you can see, the DK price, 63% of the time he's smashing value, 44% of the time at $5,800. So I think Dennis Schroeder is definitely someone to consider. And you can always pivot over and maybe select a guy like Dylan Wright, who's getting a lot of minutes as well. You see 26 minutes to as high as 41 minutes in the last 3. He's been getting as high as 36 fantasy points per game over the last 2. He's definitely someone to consider. So you got a couple options there. Again, there will be more players added to this player pool for you guys throughout the course of the day. All right, next, at small forward. At the top, we got Paul George, definitely in play. He's the best small forward on the slate today, hands down. If you can get him in there, you can get him. You should definitely put him in some of your lineups. 31% ownership projection for him. 49% of the time, he's hit that 10,004, and 67% of the time, he's been smashing that 9,700 or whatever it is price tag he has on DK. But obviously you don't necessarily have to go with George. You could pay up somewhere else. You got Joe, because you got a couple good centers today as well. So you got Joe Ingles here in this game that could possibly be a blowout. He is one guy other than Rubio that I would consider, other than Gobert, in today's matchup against Phoenix, because they're in excellent spots in their positions to do well. But at the same time, it's like I would be concerned about the blowout potential here. So Ingles, Phoenix doesn't do well in covering 3-point shots. So Ingles will have a nice field day here if he can bury some shots and get his confidence going early on. 6,100, he is the better play than on DK. You will not play him on DK for 6, but at 6,001 needing 30 on Fanduel, I'm okay with Joe Ingles there. His usage rate is more than enough. As you can see, he's been averaging 32 against Phoenix, 33 the last time out. 44% of the time he buries 61%. And he's going up against Phoenix, who's 24th defending small forwards, and they've been allowing 25.2 fantasy points per game in that position. I think Joe Ingles can be an option. Then, of course, like I said, target those guys that are in meaningful games. Well, Jonathan Isaac, this is a tough matchup in a way for him, because he really is not a guy with tremendous upside. For 5,900, you need 29. He has gone as high as 37 over the last two. And I was looking at his last 10, 12 games. He really hasn't even hit over 40. So you don't get a huge upside from him. But this is a game that they need him to play well because they need to win the game. So Jonathan Isaac can be somewhat of an option for you guys to target. But I'm going to come all the way down. And I think DeMarre Carroll is just as important for Brooklyn. I think Carroll at $4,100 on FanDuel, $300 cheaper on DK at 38. You only need 18 to meet value on DK and 20 pretty much on FanDuel. And he's put up 20 and 34 in his last two. And look at the minutes. As much as 33 and 34 minutes over the course of the last three games. He's been also starting. Brooklyn needs him to hit the three-pointers and be able to do all the dirty things he does, get some rebounding, scramble, dive for balls. These are the things that DeMarre Carroll brings to the table for the Brooklyn Nets, that physicality. And he only put up a 20 against Portland the last time, but again, this is Brooklyn right now battling every single game to try to make the playoffs, and they're going to need guys like DeMarre Carroll as well as D'Angelo Russell, Spencer Dinwiddie to come up big for this team to be able to continue on this journey to making the playoffs. 52% of the time he smashes value here at that $4,100 price tag, so I really do love the whole idea of DeMarre Carroll here going off for the Brooklyn Nets. He's going up against Portland. They are 27th in defending small forwards and allowing 23.3 fantasy points per game. They did give up 27 to Bogdanovich and 39 to DeRozan over the last 5 games. So I do like him there as well. There are other guys that I am considering, guys like Harkless, guys like J.J. Redick, even Mikal Bridges. These guys are all guys that we could possibly target. I will be looking into it a little bit more, and they will be added on throughout the course of the day. At power forward, at the top, I like these two guys the best. They just battled each other about maybe 9-10 games ago, and it was actually back on March the 5th. They battled each other, and Harris had the best of Gordon in their matchup in Philadelphia, where he put up a 50 spot, and Gordon put up 37. Again, this is an imperative, important game for the Orlando Magic. Aaron Gordon, to me, in my opinion, a better defender than Harris. Harris just played so well that day. I think that he's going to return the favor. I think Aaron Gordon is the better play today, especially that his team is really in dire need of winning a game, and he's also at home, which is another factor. For the price tag of $200 more, I'm okay with Aaron Gordon at $7,700. You need 37 for him to meet value on DK. He's 7K on the nose. You need 35. Play him in either one of the two platforms. He's averaging 32.5. He did put up a 46 spot 2 games ago. He's at 37 or better in 2 out of the last 3, which puts him in a position that he's trending slightly a little upward as far as fantasy point totals. The minutes are there, as high as 38 to 39 minutes over the course of the last 3 games. They've been using him, and again, as long as he's healthy, he's going to play a ton of minutes. 22% usage rate throughout the season. He's been at around 21% on average as of late, and he did put up a 37 in his last game, averaging 42 against his team. 41% of the time he hits value of 7,700, and 55% of the time he hits value at 7,000. So either or, I think he's a fine play on either one of the two platforms here today. Other than him, he's going up against Philly. Philly's 22nd defending power forwards, and they've been allowing 36.8 fantasy points per game, ladies and gentlemen. Collins put up 36. Giannis put up 89 over the course of the last 5 games. Those are the two guys that have put the damage on them. We go over here to Tobias Harris. Definitely like Harris as well in the same matchup. He's 7,500, pretty much need about 36, 37, and he is 7,200 on DK. Again, same price tag, pretty much around the same fantasy point totals. He's averaging 36. He's been a little bit of a downtrend over the last 2 games as far as fantasy point totals, but he did play well against this team the last time, and he's played well in the last 2 meetings against them. 47 and 50 over the last 2. Usage rate is still over 23%, and his minutes are still up there, very high, 36 as much as 38 minutes over the last 3. It is a more tougher matchup. Aaron Gordon, to me, is a better defender, but 49% of the time he has hit value of 7,500. 66% of the time he's hit the $7,200 price tag. I do like him. And the other thing also is if you wanted to pivot off who would be the least owned player, well, as you can see here so far, Aaron Gordon is projected to be the higher owned player. So it may be a good idea to consider Harris in the same game. I would be okay with even putting both of these guys in the same matchup, just in my lineup as my 2 power forwards. That's how good I feel about those 2 guys today. Other than that, you could come down. Derek Favors should do well here in this matchup. He's $1,300 cheaper on DK. I'm okay with that there against Phoenix. The only problem is that this game can get pretty ugly pretty fast because almost every position Phoenix is horrible at other than Devin Booker's position. But if you wanted to pay down, there are some guys that I'm looking to target. I do like Jeremy Grant here a whole lot. Has 17% ownership at 5,600. I do like Aminu here as well, who is actually projected to be even more owned than Jeremy Grant. And then you always got to consider Rashad Holmes here because of the minutes for the Phoenix Suns. All right, so you can go either or of those guys there. At center today, at the top, Embiid, Vucevic, the top dogs there. You can pay up at center, very, very center heavy today at the top. But, you know, I'm going to come down a little bit in price tag. I do like Damian Lillard to put in some of my lineups. I don't know what my core is just yet. But, again, you guys will know that later on. Vucevic in a good spot. Rudy Gobert, man, 9,400. I'm okay with the price tag of Fanduel. I think it's still a little pricey, but he is capable of getting you a 50 spot in this game easily. I think he's going to have a heck of a rebounding game, and he is such a decent defender with blocks. I can see him getting a ton of blocks here as well because Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton is not a good defender. And, you know, he just is not. And this guy here, even though Ayton has a little bit of shot blocking ability, Gobert is just at another level. So, again, for me, 9,400, I'm okay with it. But you got to love his price on DK, man. DK, he only need 8,000, and he only need 40 to meet value, and that is below his average of 41.5, nearly 42. As you can see, he got 53-point upside as he put up a 53 spot in his last game. I love the factors that he is at home. I love the factors this is a great matchup. Phoenix is very vulnerable against centers. My only concern is the blowout situation. But if you're going to target anybody, Gobert, guys like Engels, and guys like Ricky Rubio, I think for Utah you can definitely target, or even Derek Favors, those guys. But I will say only one out of those guys, not everyone. All right, so again, Gobert in play, 40% chance of hitting value at 9,400 and 56% at that $8,000 price tag on DK. Again, great DK play. If you want to pay down on DK, he will be someone to definitely consider. If you want to pay up, then I will probably go Vucevic on DK if you were to go that, you know, you wanted to go that high. Okay. I will go there. Other than that, Nurkic, good play as well. My only concerns with this Nurkic game here is that Enes Kanter has been getting quite a bit of minutes too, 16 to 20, and I would not be at all opposed to fading Nurkic and playing Kanter at 4,700. I think he's 4,700 on FanDuel and 4,000 on DK, which puts him at 20. At 4,700, you only need 23, and he's put up 31. He put up 21 and 29. As you can see, 16 to as many as 20 minutes. But look at these numbers: 29 and 20, 21 and 16. He's a great point per minute player. He was doing that in New York when he got the time. And they're going to utilize both of these guys well here. So, again, if Nurkic gets into a little bit of foul trouble, which he's capable of, as well as Kanter, you can see more time for Kanter. So this is a tough go here, but obviously Nurkic in a great play at 8,400. I think that's okay for FanDuel. You need 42, and he's about that 37 to 38, 39 on average player. So he's pretty good cash play. But his $1,500 reduction on DK is just incredible, man. That means he's 6,900. You only need 37. And I think he should be able to make 37 here, even in 25, 26, 27 minutes if he plays that much. And I think Kanter could put up almost the same if he plays 20 minutes to 22 minutes. So it's tough to say more or less what's going to happen, but I think the best thing to do is sprinkle a little bit of Nurkic in some of your GPPs if you're playing multiple lineups, and sprinkle a little bit of Kanter when you want to pay up somewhere else. I will go with that strategy and do that. And other than that, Gobert is the next play. But Nurkic again and Kanter, they're going up against Brooklyn, who is dead last, and we know we got to pick on them because they're terrible. There's no doubt about it. Nurkic could go out here and maybe in 30 minutes of play could probably put up 50 somewhat points. So, again, it's a great play. It's all a matter of how to utilize these guys as far as minutes. And as of late, it seems like Kanter's been being played 16 to 20 minutes, and he's doing just fine. If you wanted to pay down, you can go that route. They're going up against Brooklyn. They're 30th in defending centers, and they've been allowing 41.2 fantasy points per game, which is quite a bit. McGee just put up a huge 75 spot on them, and Gobert just 4 games ago put up 52. So again, Nurkic in play as well as Kanter. If you ask me, I think Kanter is in play as well. Other than those two, I would probably go Valanciunas, who's just been really, really playing well for Memphis. And I always used to say that before. If he gets time and he gets on the floor, he's going to put up more than 1.2, 1.3 fantasy points per minute, and he's been able to do that. So Valanciunas, to me, I think is someone to consider here as well against OKC if Memphis could keep this game close. But those are the other guys to target. I think it's Gobert or Nurkic, or if you want to pay all the way down and get some value, I think Kanter is not a bad play for Portland at 47 and 4,000 respectively. And that's pretty much where I'm at. There will be more players added to this player pool. Again, man, thank you so much, you guys, for stopping by. Drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you want to have access to the draft dashboard, you want to follow along me with my watch players list on MLB starting Thursday, make sure that you go to the link in the description down below. Get access to this tool for 30 days for $1. You'll make the $1 back and then some. That's for certain. And don't worry about any of that stuff. Just look at a nice, good software that's going to reduce your research time, and at the same time, you're going to get a little bit of insight from me, from my videos, as well as you're going to be able to watch my players list, where you'll have at least an opportunity to make decisions among what you have as well as what I have, so you can make your lineups for the day, and you can optimize them right here in the same software as well, so you cannot beat it. All right, other than that, wish you guys a lot of luck, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.